A train wreck to spin fire. The NFT analyzer. Diving deep into projects. He's the crypto energizer. From new mint coins to tokens. He's got all the intel. Web3 news and trade. Show you where to excel. He's got the insights like a digital magician, unveiling secrets of the blockchain with precision.
All right, Mega GMs, guys, welcome to the Swarm Report. What do we got going on this screen down here?
Oh,
Sedano, what are we doing? I mean, it
That's
looks
me.
cool. It looks cool.
There you go. My bad.
Dude, all good, all good. It did look cool. Man, guys, welcome to the show, Friday edition. One of those special editions where we get, those hot Virtuals Genesis launches coming on the show to talk about their product. And today, actually, like even cooler than usual, and they're usually pretty cool. But yeah, all right, you guys who've been watching the show every day, you saw me going through the Virtuals board, and something caught my eye this week. Right, we're scrolling through, and I get to this Daredevil agent, and of course, clicking around, like, what the heck is this? And I click and click and click, and I start seeing some names on the team, and I started geeking out a bit. Right, I see Jared here as part of this team. Who I tested him. I'm going to quiz him here in a minute, see if he remembers where we met. But I met him years ago, and he's just one of those guys that stands out. He's just fun personality, like good guy. Been here forever too, so like extra excited for today. First off, welcome Jared, welcome Sedano. Glad to have you guys here.
Yeah, thanks for having us, man.
Hi, how's it going, man? Good to connect with you again. Thanks for having us. Really exciting. We were talking a little bit off the record before getting on the show, but man, really happy to be here, man. This is cool.
Appreciate you, dude. Okay, so like right off the bat, pop quiz. Where did we maybe meet?
Okay, I mean, in our text through Twitter, I was so confident. I was like, oh yeah, I think I got this. And oh god, okay, here we go. Indianapolis restaurant. What was it? Roots Chris.
Yeah.
CyberCon's meetup.
Damn, dude. Okay, I'm impressed.
That's it, motherfucker. Let's go.
Nailed it. So, guys, I'm super impressed because you meet a lot of people, I'm sure. But this is going back to VCon 2023, I think. The only time I ventured out for like an IRL crypto whatever event, only time. And it was magic. It was awesome. And the dinner party was great. But yeah, the dude, exactly where we met, and fun freaking night. And again,
super
we
cool,
just
bro.
Connected there, and it's cool seeing your name pop up on Virtuals. Like everybody's gonna be here at some point. You're early, so
yeah. Oh man, yeah. No,
Nice.
man. Yep. Indie VCon. That was crazy, man. That
Dude,
was really crazy. So
it was really, really cool. Now, quick heads up too. This is not related to the awesome agent coming up and virtual stuff we'll get into here, but like something that caught my eye this morning that I'm excited about. David Sachs, our crypto czar here in the United States, saying July's looking like a big month. Guys, just to get you a little look. It's dead out on X right now, and I know everybody's kind of bored with the market, but yeah, this is my July feels like we got a cook ahead of us. So it's coming from the man himself. I'm feeling it too.
I love hearing it.
Start the day out with some bullish news like that. Let's get into what you guys are building and the whys and how disruptive this kind of thing is going to be. I know it is going to be, and you guys are the perfect people to explain why. But tell us about Agent DareDevil, and also, what order do we do this in? I want to hear about you guys and your background because you're really qualified to speak on this stuff. So maybe background is a good start. Jared, and then Sedano, if you want to talk about yourself here too.
No, sure. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll start. Yep. So I've been in the space for a little bit, half a decade now at this point. I experienced anything and everything around crypto. I loved and was so enthusiastic getting into the space those years ago, around 2020. Dude, I've seen it. I've lived it. I've been in front of the camera, behind the camera, whatever it's DeFi projects or NFT projects. Working for crypto companies and kind of having this full circle moment now, having my own project here with the team that we have. And it's so exciting. It's so cool getting to experience all these different types of verticals that crypto has to offer. And just, when in the beginning, you want to try everything. Everything is so, I don't want to, a simple term is mind blowing, but just that's what it really felt like back
Dude, it's
then.
magic, right? Back then it was magic.
It is. Oh my God. Like, we have one of our team members who's just getting into crypto, and he like makes us feel good about ourselves because he's in that like whoa moment, right? And we're gonna calm him down a little bit. Like, we gotta vet him and big bro him, but like it makes us think about when we first got in.
Yeah.
But yeah, pro athlete for a long ass time. I'm out here in Southeast Asia, born and raised in the States. And I just retired from basketball literally around 2 months ago, and which was a sense of closure. But then, hey, now I can go full time, all in on what I've been basically secretly building that was kind of leading up to the end of my basketball career. I was kind of interlapping, doing both at the same time. And here I am all in and getting to talk with you right now. It's pretty cool, bro.
So cool. And this is kind of like putting like everything you've done before together into like it's like everything was leading to this in a way,
man.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, like kind of just getting, fortifying your mind, testing what works, what doesn't, what's something you want to do, what you don't want to do. Just really soaking up that experience and knowledge, which is really important, obviously, when you want to have something of your own moving forward. So just, to be successful in anything, you got to go out and you got to fail and you got to do things, you got to try them. And yeah, for sure, man, it's been definitely full circle.
Love it. I love it, dude. And then Sedano, I've got you up on the screen here. Follow both of these guys, by the way, and I'll get you on the agent page too. You give that a follow as well, and we'll go peek at the virtual side. But yeah, if you could intro yourself and tell us what you're doing and what you've been doing and what led you here.
Yeah, sure, man. First of all, a shout out to everyone who's watching, and thanks for having us. Pretty stoked to be here. I always say that there's not enough AI agent content out there, right? Shout out to people on Abstract as well. But yeah, my name is John Sedano, and I am co-founder of Jared Dillinger here for Agent DareDevil. I came from YGG just very previously. I've been with them for almost 5 years. I was at the front lines of building the last play to earn hype cycle and, rallying the community, growing the game and the guild from 1,000 players, 200,000 players, 500 million. I've seen everything. And really just some context on why we're doing this. It really comes from a problem solving lens, right? Because I do still feel that I have some sort of responsibility to figure out what didn't work and why gaming, Web3 gaming, isn't working out yet. And I think it's public consensus, right, that AI agents are going to be changing the game. And there is that gap to be filled. And there are those problems that can be solved by simply automating stuff. And Jared and I, we do share the same love for Web3 gaming, aka we're stuck in the same projects. And what a gift it would be that we dig ourselves out from the graves that we put ourselves into.
Is so that like bag holding and so community members and you're in those for life right now? I love that.
I mean, imagine if you could solve those, right?
Right. Dude, I love that. Here, let me put this back up. And this is what you guys have put your heads together to put out for us now. Daredevil Agent. What the heck is it? And what I know of it is awesome. I'll just say like just leading. There's like, look, I think like you, AI is going to change everything. I think AI is the thing that gets Web3 gaming to where we thought it was going to go. And AI is the thing that makes these like really complicated DeFi tools like easy to use. It's the thing that abstracts away all the hard stuff. And again, I think this is the thing. It is AI, especially in sports. And like you said, gaming, especially in those things, I think that's where there's the best product market fit right now. So with that said, tell us about Daredevil Agent and what he's going to do. And also, Jared, I realized you're the Daredevil too. I found a tweet of yours I'll bring up after, but holy shit, the injuries you've...
Oh, yeah, bro. It's funny. It's funny, right? It's only fitting.
The real Daredevil. But yeah, what's the Daredevil Agent? What's he going to do for us?
No, sure, no, John, please, no, take this away for you, man. I don't want to steal this thunder. Like, please, by all means, man. I'm such a yapper sometimes, bro.
So basically, like Daredevil, we're trying to bridge sports and esports and make it stickier, right? At the press conference yesterday, they asked us, like, what are actually you guys solving? For us, it's really attention, right? Why did the NBA have less viewership this year? Why is Web3 gaming dead, right? It's just really, I think, creating that next layer of gaming engagement, competition, and seeing where AI fits. So there's three main verticals to what we're building right now. Like first is an AI agent chatbot that knows everything about NBA. So just think an LLM fine-tuned to just know and give educated guesses and recommendations about any specific sport. Um, I mean, there's definitely a bit of luck here, but I'd say that Agent Daredevil actually was able to predict the OKC win.
Oh wow.
Right, there are many factors, right? But what you can look into is why did he win, or like why was he confident, or what's that confidence rate compared to a normal LLM? We did a couple of tests. We've been having the community test him out, ask him questions. Might have even did some calls for the OKC win in some VC group chats just to flex it. But what we came to was that Daredevil is around 72% confident in the calls that he makes compared to a regular LLM that you feed links to. You'll get something around 50 to 60%. But yeah, like that intelligence. So what does that do, right? Like how does it apply aside from just making good calls in the NBA? I think that brings us to the next layer. So imagine that same agent knowing that same knowledge for the NBA, hosting an esports tournament in a basketball game. Then copy paste that framework, let it learn other games. Now you have another layer of wagering that can be done out of these games that won't have wagering built in innately. But what that actually enables is also now you can have multiple copies of the agent doing the same thing, working and built on ACP framework. You have a new layer. Then you can make an app. You can make an app for wagering. You can make an app for leaderboards where people or games that can't have betting on them can do rewards. It's just really gamifying and bringing together all the pieces that are important in taking us to that next level for AI and gaming. And yeah, just having fun, like doing it with the right guys. I'll hand it back to Jared here, but what I've been telling people is that having 9 championships in pro basketball, that's a secret sauce actually for bringing up the next gen of tech.
That's Jared with the 9
Yes,
championship? Damn, dude.
Stop it, bro.
Wow.
God, dude, stop. Relax, man. No, I mean, we have a great product. And I think what makes us unique is that our ability to go back and forth between Web3 and Web2. The applications when we soft launched this, just to feel a pulse of interest, at least out here in our region. We released this during the Sigma AIBC event, which is a big sports gambling casinos type of event. We put it out there. We got an enormous interest right off the bat. And we were just doing meetings all week with betting companies. And it was a great opportunity for us because yes, they have interest, but at the same time, we got to figure out what they don't understand about AI and how they like it. And then there's the bad stuff that they wouldn't like about something like that integrating on their platform. So we learned a lot in that process, and we got to kind of reiterate and adjust so that we know how to talk to the traditional Web2 folks when we're talking about this stuff. Because ideally, I'm sure we can all attest to this. We're at the spearhead of technology, of everything that's kind of really being built out there. So the masses, if you will, the normies or the Web2 folks, it's like a tightrope that we're walking on, navigating through eggshells, not to like trigger them in a way where they get intimidated or they get a little, it's way over their head.
Yeah,
right?
really easy to do. The terminology is so tricky. You have to speak our language. You do, and then the tech is so complicated as is too. And then crypto, because there's crypto involved, has this stigma, right?
Yeah.
So
right
are these Web2 like betting platforms you're speaking to?
Yeah. So we got an enormous amount of interest between sports betting. There are specifically sports betting platforms, obviously. Fantasy league platforms, sports leagues were interested because they found it very fascinating how they can utilize our P2P wagering platform while a game is going on in its sense. And, we had to navigate really carefully with these leagues, making sure they understand, like, guys, hey, we're not regulated right now. We don't have a license for gambling per se right now. So we have to play this dance where, look, if you guys really want to utilize something like this right now at the moment, then, hey, we're going to use points. There's going to be a point system, gamified, where, people exchange points. And then if they make the leaderboard, then, hey, you get rewards. You get tickets to F1 races. I mean, I'm just saying an arbitrary thing, but just to get your mind for where we're trying to feel at here. That's the avenue that we got to take. But at the flip side of it, with sports betting companies, a lot of them are interested where they want to white label our product, and we would be a tech provider or service provider per se. And through the old gray area, if you will, that you would then be licensed. Then hence, hey, well, okay, maybe you don't have to use points. Now we can use crypto or fiat, if you will. It just depends on what their appetite is. So trying to figure out like that navigation through, regulation, making sure, we're not, stepping on any toes was maybe a challenge in the beginning, but we kind of figured that out already. And now we always like to say this in our group, we're always just trying to line our ducks, like, all right, how do we want to go about it with these folks? These folks, they're like this. All right, these guys, we're going to go out like this. But a great problem to have. Great problem to have.
Oh, dude, definitely. Oh, so, okay. I would have assumed that like sports betting platforms are already behind the scenes utilizing AI. And I wonder if I'm wrong about this too. I think everybody senses AI is going to be like their future, a big part of the future. But I would have assumed like behind the scenes, they've got like AI tools baked throughout, kind of like I assume DeFi platforms and like top level, I don't know, stock traders are using AI algorithmic based trading. And I think I'm learning more and more that maybe the big guys are. The medium and smaller guys, maybe they understand they have to, but they're not there yet. I don't know if they need convincing or don't know how, but do I read this right though? With like even people you approach, are they even using AI yet?
I could jump in real quick. Yeah, I was gonna say for sure. Yeah, we've been able to talk to a couple of mostly really big API providers for sports data. And they definitely have their own chatbots. That's what I'm gonna say, right? But what does that really mean? Like, what does that really do for a single company? It doesn't make sense if that kind of information isn't easily shared across different networks. I mean, you can pay for the API, but what if my agent wanted to talk to your agent? So now it becomes an issue of who has MCP servers set up. Right. And I think at the end of the day, what we're really looking at coming from Web3 and Web3 gaming. So how do these agents actually talk to each other? And what are they running on? And how is that information and that value exchange distributed across a network? And, I mean, that's going to be sooner than later. Then all of these companies, all of these platforms will have figured out how to, I don't know, maybe build their own protocol or just use MCP. But that's also the reason why we've chosen virtuals is, as you said, right? Like I'd consider us one of the mid and upcoming tiers in terms of AI and sports betting projects. And we fit that mold that they're looking for, right? What value can agents bring? Are these new agents going to be extractors? Are these agents going to be bringing in value, right? We want to be one of those agents that brings value and gives also that sense of being important, right? And having a need for other agents to come in and build alongside us, right? If that happens, then there's not going to be big AI agent companies or sports betting companies with AI. It's just going to be AI compatible sports and esports companies. That's it. Yeah,
dude. I mean, there's not a lot of, I don't think a lot of competition in the like kind of sports betting, AI, like Battlefield yet. There's like, Billy Betts, who I love. And there's like Bookie Agent that just went live a few weeks back. And God, there's one other they've got a little ACP cluster they're building together. And again, I love those. Those are some of my favorite agents because we talk product market fit. It's one of the very few that has it. This is now one of the few that enters that arena. It is one of those things where I see that product market fit. And like I said, there's like 3 other agents even doing this like total, I think. Good timing on it. Like great timing on it. Again, something you can, I think you have somewhere numbers here for the sports betting, kind of the type of numbers we see in it, like dollars wise, it's massive.
massive.
I want to get to that too. I do want to get to ACP. If you could describe what the product looks like, like if you could get into what it looks like, how like maybe partners are going to use it, also how like people in the chat right now or myself, how we would use it. What does the experience look like? What are we going to do with the agent?
Sure. So we can talk about like the 3 use cases and case studies that we've put together, right? So first is for consumers. Think of game 6, right, of the NBA. Like you're in the arena and right next to you is the person you hate the most, and he shouts in your ear like your team's gonna fucking lose, and he says like you can bet on anything in the game, and I'll put 100K on it. Like what if you have an app, right, that you could ask specifically like what are the odds of SGA, throwing down, or like those kind of stuff, right? And you can go back at him like, fuck yeah, like I'll take it on, let's play on this one, right? So that's the first use case of it. It's not betting like directly, you're not using any platform. There's it brings back the good old days of just wagering with your friends, and apply that to B2B, to having an NPC SDK that allow that same functionality for different games. So now Web3 games can build with ACP in mind, right? MCP and ACP compatibility in mind. And I mean, it's just a matter of time, right? Like before that happens, and we want to be prepared. Like our eyes are set dead on GTA 6. Having a primitive like AI Daredevil, you can reskin him a million times. It could be, I don't know, like McDonald's branded AI agent Daredevil, like, which brings us to the third use case, which is also licensing, which is exactly what this on the screen is. Right, so we have the playground. Like this is where games we will be playing. This is where we will be bringing in our community, having leaderboards and stuff. But at the same time, the technology, like the underlying technology, the stack of ACP compatible agents, is what's powering this D app, right? And yeah, we're just really excited. I think these 3 use cases are just the start. Once these agents start working with one another, like Billy Bets or Stake.com, right? So there's a lot of opportunity to be, looking at here. So I hope I answered your question, though.
But yeah, dude, definitely. And then of course I have more. I have like endless always. But okay, so I've never done sports betting ever. I don't understand it. So like even right off the bat for me, this feels like an easy entry in because it sounds like it's me betting against my buddy Katz. We just want to bet on a game, any part of a game. We do that through the app, through an agent. Is that what that looks like?
Definitely. So exactly what it is. Just bringing back the fun, bringing back peer-to-peer betting. But you have an app now, right? Like your friend can just ghost you and and not show up. And it's also applicable on a larger scale, right? You can also think of betting platforms where bookies are being automated or booking management is being automated, and everything's going to be done on chain, right? Like everything's going to be recorded. So I think it's just an improvement, not changing really the layer of what wagering in Web 2 is, but just giving an option where maybe a platform, like maybe I want crypto peeps to start betting on this thing, right? So instead of building it out myself, why not just work with a team or license a product that's already compatible with the rest of the world?
So, okay, so then if I'm making a bet in here, again, let's just go back to Cats and we're betting on Game 7 of the NBA Finals. We do that through here. Are we just like putting our bets into this platform, or do we each have an agent that are then somehow helping us like formulate our bets, our thesis, whatever, and are they kind of the agents, the ones betting against each other? Like a little more about what that looks like.
It's still going to be the person, right? It's still going to be the person betting, placing the bet. It's the AI agent, the first layer, the AI agent chatbot, rather, that you see on screen is going to be the one helping you. Maybe, just giving you the odds, or maybe even helping you match make with a third friend who can't fill in that $200 bet that you want. Maybe Cats could only do 100, right? So it's really where the gaps can be filled in peer-to-peer wagering. Yeah.
That's very, very cool. That's very, very cool. Again, just an easy way for me to place these bets with buddies. And it's more than just like a gentleman's handshake now. It's like on chain in an app, being tracked. And also it sounds like I get insights from the agent, like some stats, some maybe his own predictions. Which, like, so Tracy AI, I don't think I mentioned that before, but another one of these agents in this sports AI world, it sounds like that's his function too. He does like analytics and like commentary on sports. I don't think he's a betting agent anyway. I think that's why he's like kind of tied in with the other guys. This sounds like kind of more all in one. Like you get the insights, but you also make the bets right on this platform, which sounds really cool. Cats is a broke mofo. Dude, again, I'm a noob at betting. You may not be for long if we start throwing down some bets against each other. But yeah, I like this kind of thing really, really interests me. Again, I think AI is what brings so many people in. Like I said, I've never made a sports bet before, ever. Maybe like a gentleman agreement one, but I've never like gotten deep in it because it's too complicated and confusing and not sure where to go. This is the kind of thing that simplifies it for me. It's like you just go here and here's my bet and here's how much and have fun with it from there.
Maybe just wanted to add, like, one thing to look at that's very interesting about this specific stack of agents is that it's also applicable to other games. Like, think of, let's say, parallel TCG, right? What the agent can do is, or at least one of the agents in the stack can do is, he can serve as an oracle, to help you with your decision making in the game. But second, he also serves as an evaluation layer, right? He can be directly connected to the game's API, and he can also resolve bets. Right. So now, like, you don't really need a third party pressing yes or no, depending on who won what game. And it's also technically applicable to any other game. Like, you can be betting on, I don't know, like a Minecraft server and who farms the most minerals and stuff like that. So it's really open ended. But yeah.
How do these other kind of bets get in there? Like if I could bet on sports, but I can also bet on Minecraft and I can bet on parallel and I can bet on what's the limit or the scope of the things I can bet on with Daredevil?
Yeah. So right now we are focusing on the NBA just because we want to build that oracle first, focused on that knowledge. And next, I think likely will be F1 just because it's their nearest insights. So for our in-house platform, for the Daredevil Playground, as we call it, we're going to be having different games, right? Because we want to tap into the different communities and get them to experience what Web3 wagering and competitive engagement looks like. But down the road, we will be releasing a community version where stakers or premium access holders can make their own bets on anything. And there's going to be just an endless list of games that the agent is connected on and can make arbitration and logical resolution possible at the palm of your hands in one click.
Interesting. Oh, I dig that. Okay, now Katz has a question here. Great question. Geo-fenced in the U.S., if you're in a state where sports betting is illegal, is that where points gets around some of this stuff?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah. So I think this is also where the licensability of the platform comes in, right? So we will definitely be working with partners who have the right licenses and definitely needs a product, right? But for us, like for the Daredevil platform itself, we're going to be featuring games and also rewarding players in points and maybe merch from the game itself and stuff like that, right? So really this serves as a training ground for people like us who are intimidated by big betting sites, right? And still keep that level of competitiveness. Even you're the one playing the one in PvP or you're watching someone else play PvP.
Dude, I love this. I really do love this. All right. I realized I messed up the stream a little bit, just a little bit. I set the time at exactly an hour. It'll cut us off in like 23 minutes or so. Not that I want to keep you like forever too, but I'm going to try to hammer you with a bunch of questions here before it does cut it off. And if it does, we can keep going if you guys have time still. But sure. Okay. Let me think of what's the most valuable question here next. Okay, you've mentioned agents, more than one agent. Did I hear that right? So the Daredevil agent, and if there are more, what does that look like? Is it like user-generated agents that I've created in this ecosystem that also live on virtuals, or what? Like, if you could explain that a little more.
Yeah. So there's two pieces to it, right? So the first definition of agents, like the plural definition of agents for Daredevil, is talking about the agent stack that runs Daredevil. Right?
Is that
so
like
there's
behind the scenes, like maybe you're in that cluster or swarm?
Yeah. So there's 4 agents working together to make it happen. Just like that's exactly those 4 guys. With the avatars. You have the yellow agent, which is the communication layer. So we're currently building him on Eliza. So whenever you interact with him in our alpha group on Telegram, that's the yellow agent talking to you. He's also connected to our Twitter account, who does all the scraping and retweeting sometimes. And anything that has to do with input and output goes through that first agent. That's the yellow guy. And the next one is the Oracle himself. the red guy. So this is where the questions land, and this is where the reasoning and decision making happens, right? He's the one that knows all about NBA. To simplify it, this is where all the news articles and links are reading from. Like that's that agent. And the third and the fourth are the guys that enable the wagering. So third is you have the escrow agent, which is simply a smart contract that holds and funds until a condition is sent to him on who wins and releases that funds based on that condition. And the fourth is an evaluation agent. Just make sure everything's intact, all the decision making is done right. And yeah, just all of them four together. They're like the Avengers that put in together, or like Captain Planet right, that put in a super agent. So that's the first layer.
Captain Planet. Nice.
Strong. I like that.
I like that one. That was a great analogy.
That's the first layer to it. And the second layer is talking about multiple agents. That's where the studio building Daredevil comes in. It's called New Frontier Corporation. It's an ode to Ragnarok Online. But yeah, what we really are building is Daredevil will be the first of many AI agents that will be coming out in virtuals. But the decision making here is that we're not building agents just to make many agents. The next agents that will be coming out will be helping Agent Daredevil, right? Whether it's as simple as being a deal flow AI agent that will help us expedite contacts on Telegram whenever we're in our conferences, or maybe just a live stream AI agent that lets Daredevil live stream 24/7. So that's a thought process there. We haven't announced or set in stone any movement on further agents until we've been able to properly launch and get the ball rolling with Daredevil. And we're excited to see that. We're excited for the community to hear about the next ones. But yeah, that's gonna be soon.
Okay. I feel like, well, I don't know. I was gonna say I feel like I might have some hunches on what those might be, but I'll just say like I think the whole AI thing is so cool because like the agent thing, like it gets very modular. You can add on different types of agents with different functionality as you need it. It just lets you scale in whatever direction you want, and I think it lets you do it pretty darn quickly too. So the whole ecosystem is always like, it's fascinating to me. Will there be some of these other agents that live on chain, or most of them going to be off chain, and Daredevil's the one that's like the one on chain agent?
So they will be on chain for sure, just because that they will be ACP compliant. So the fact that they're connected to the network one way or the other, they will be on chain. And we don't necessarily want to put anything on chain that's not needed on chain. Mm-hmm. So maybe a deal flow assistant. I don't think that needs to be on chain, but maybe the actions, right, and the information that you get from B2B, from partners, the decision making there can be repackaged, and other agents could use that information as well. But other than that, right, ACP I think is a really, really powerful framework that will serve as an on-chain layer for any agents that will be built. And the good thing is that studios who might not specialize in Web3 and blockchain, just build on ACP and you're on chain.
So you have those like ACP goals, which is awesome. So how far along in that are you, other than just the goal, I'm sure, to be there? What is that going to look like, and where do you picture Daredevil plugged into? Like your own cluster, and then also do you want to see him inserted in other clusters too?
No, for sure. We will be present in multiple clusters. And I think that's where Virtuals as a partner also comes in, right? So they will be, or we will be looking at them for guidance and what logical next steps are, right? So I think at this point, it's going to be the amount of value versus the time that we will be spending. A good example for this is building our NPCs. So sooner than later, we think that Unity and Unreal Engine will be having their own AI agent NPC builders, right? So what would be a waste of time for us to build our own infrastructure for that, or build our own AI agent that that's compatible with these games and Unreal. So we are building with compatibility in mind for sure, right? And where there are opportunities to collab, there are more opportunities for growth, that's where we will be going. So we want to be ready for Unreal. We want to be ready for Unity. We want to be ready for GTA 6. That's where we're at.
Perfect. I see virtual partner supporting. It's Yellow Panther. Is that part of VPN, the Virtual Partners Network, and is that somebody who's supporting you guys directly?
Yes. I think Jared, like it's good to jump in on how you and YP are going
Yeah.
about this.
No. Yeah, me and YP, we've known each other for a couple years now, and we just never had any opportunities that we felt that was a moment that, hey man, all right, let's do this now. Let's do something together. It's always been like, hey, we got to do something, bro. We got to do something sometime when this all makes sense. We played in some FPS tournaments in Singapore together, and we would see each other at YPS in the Philippines. So just, I don't know, just a planets aligned. Everything kind of worked out to this moment that we were building up to. And YP was more than happy or gracious to, want to give us a stamp of approval and have a partnership where, we're going to jam out together and make some cool content and do some cool shit together. But it's kind of another one of those moments of the full circle, like finally getting to do something that's meaningful, that makes sense, not just to force it, but just something that aligns the right way. And it's like, yeah, finally we got something, brother. So let's do this. This
I love
should be
that.
a good one.
Well, dude, what's so cool is, especially the longer you've been here, the more connections you've made and friendships. And I think everybody's got those guys that you talk to often and you feel like you're going to find that time where it's the right moment. When it's there, you feel it. And it sounds like you guys felt that moment's here. So Yellow Panther working with you guys here. Is that more on the content front? Is that more in like the esports and betting on that side of things? Like what is that going to look like?
Well, for me, really, it's just being able to see what we could work on next, right? What the ecosystem needs, what virtuals needs, what help we can give, right? Like right now, the partnership just looks like an animated series at this point.
Ooh.
It's merging communities for sure, right? Helping each other's communities, but also creating that layer of affinity for communities to latch on. You were showing it on screen earlier, right? We have short clips of Daredevil, being built by robots, Daredevil walking down, a hallway with cloning vats, a third video with Yellow Panther and Daredevil meeting for the first time. So it's also like our way of telling our story as founders, right? And sharing that journey of what we're doing, what we're building, and what our AI agent counterparts can be doing and can be building. But yeah, I mean, opportunity wise, right? YP has always been, a great partner, especially during my tenure in YGG. We've been able to work a couple of times, did a lot of panels, talked to a lot of people. And I think we just, work on what's working, build on what's working and see where that takes us.
Beautiful. Tokenomics. We got to talk tokenomics. Boy, well, okay. Before tokenomics, let's talk community. It's kind of all part of the same conversation. It is in a way. Everybody's learned here, especially over the years, community is so damn important. Got to keep them happy and engaged, and very, very dialed into what you're doing. What's the focus that you guys have on community building, and then through tokenomics, keeping them engaged and keeping them, to some degree, happy with the tokenomics? That's a weird thing to say because sometimes I think they tokenomics need to drive the project first, right? But how do you find that balance of the tokenomics that drive the project also keep the community happy?
Yeah, I could start and then I'll pass it on to you, Jared.
Go ahead, bro. Yeah, you good.
So
you're good.
one of the main one of the core principles of the studio, NPC studio, New Frontier Studio, and Daredevil is being a revenue first project, right? Our thinking here is that if there is revenue for the project, may it be commercial or retail revenue, there will be enough money to fund community and community growth. The last thing that we want is that we're going to be using that same those same tokens that the community buys off the market and use that to reward the community back to them. Like for me, that really just didn't sit well in terms of tokenomics for other games and other projects in the past. So yeah, we want to prioritize revenue so that we could make sure that we could pay for the bills, pay for the engagement, and also do really sick stuff, right? Imagine us doing leaderboards for F1 and the winner can get like, a business class flight to Singapore and a 10 token, like stuff like that, right? That's really it's really we're coming from.
So on that though, leaderboards for F1 means what? Leaderboards for like users that are betting on F1?
Yes. Yeah. For example,
Yes.
let's see. Yeah. Go ahead, Jared.
Oh no, you're good, man. Yes, leaderboards. Yep, gamified system. So like we were just using F1 as an arbitrary example. So if that be the case, then we'll set it up the game in such a way where leadership board, top 20, top 10, however we want to call it. We'll get X, Y, and Z type of prizes or rewards in that sense.
Okay.
It's very adjustable. It's very flexible in how we can kind of set the things up. For just like a weird example of just the way that we can introduce these rewards and prizes is just an easy way that we can get a big brand that would want to come in and give us a shit ton of their product, where the pitch is always going to be like, guys, we don't want your money. We just want your product or anything you want to give so we can just give to our community.
That's cool.
So community's happy, the brand's happy. We make content about it, obviously. And it's just kind of this little win-win situation in itself, right?
So, dude, so it's like climb the leaderboards by outperforming people with your wagers against each other and whatever it is, a sporting event or a esports or game, all that stuff. Prize isn't necessarily token, maybe it is, but it's prizes, whatever the partner there that you have the leaderboard for, whatever they want to give to the community, right? Can be each leaderboard can be completely different types of rewards.
Yeah, and that's what we're really trying to lean hard on. When we're talking about community, I think I had a good sense of just being a professional athlete. Professional athletes, there's tribalism, there's fandom, there's community. How do you keep these communities, behind you and still supporting you or cheering for you, right? Of course, you got to be a winner, right? That's the most obvious or logical. But I think for situations like these, since we're showcasing ourselves for everyone to see, it's just be real, be authentic, show everyone your personality, what you're building. It's not rocket science here in that sense. If you can be relatable, if you're showing people that you're doing these really unique activations or these unique things that like galvanizes a community, whether that's through these games that we have or building partnerships and showing everyone that, hey, we're doing some real work, that this can be some legitimate applications that people could use right now. Like, look at the shit we're doing. We're growing this space. This is dope. Follow us. It just kind of all plays into itself. And I always felt very strong. I've always been this team-oriented guy. Like, I've been part of so many winning ball clubs or dynasties. So just understanding the whole team aspect of just, if I win, we win. If we eat, we all eat. I mean, I know it's such a cliche type of thing.
True, dude. It is definitely true, especially in Web3. It's like the communities that win together just thrive together, man. They really do.
Yeah. And the hard part that most people don't understand or don't see, and what you got to really accept if we're talking about being a winner and being successful, is just embodying two words. It's just delayed gratification. You just got to understand that these big things that we're building does have a purpose, and there is I don't know what you call it. There's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, however you want to say it, but it does take work and sacrifice and but a little bit of luck too, obviously, with things like this.
Sure.
But again, we all are doing what we love, and we're all super hardcore focused into this. Everyone's like, this is our thing. This is what we're kind of pouring our sweat, blood, and tears into.
That I love, by the way, betting on a team who's doing a thing they love, that they have experience in and they're passionate about and they enjoy it. It's just it's a fun thing. That's the kind of people I think you need to be betting on, right? It's their passion. By the way, what is the token utility? Like, if the token even has a utility inside of the project? I don't know if it's just rewards or if there's another function for it.
Yeah, no. So what we're building towards is really looking at the Dare token as an arcade token, you could say that, where any actions that need to be done by the agent will have some sort of cost attributed to it. So a good example of this is our early testing, our early experiments of monetizing Daredevil on Telegram, right? So Telegram makes it simple. You can have an account that you need to pay stars for to talk to them. So imagine if you're betting on F1 and you need, just someone to brainstorm with, you could just hop on Telegram and send him a DM. And if you have stars, then yeah, you can talk to him for an X amount of messages. So that same principle applies to the Dare token. Very soon, when the demo and the digital our Daredevil playground is once ready, yeah.
So
it's
so
gonna
it
be pay
gates
to
some of
play.
his features.
And sorry, what?
So it gates some of his features.
Gates some of these features and also enables premium features for stakers as well. So a good example of this is, for example, you are a bookie and you want to handle more than one bet, or like you just don't bet with your friends directly, right? You want to create 20 open bets instead of just one bet. So maybe tiers of the number of bets that you can accept or make are also go up depending on the amount of their tokens that you're staking.
Okay. And okay, if you want to enter a bet with a buddy, so I know somehow it's points, or you're earning points on the leaderboard, but are you betting the Dare token ultimately with your buddy?
So we're not allowed to do that regulatory wise right now, but definitely we are looking at the bigger picture where we will be operating on a larger scale, where our own token not only can be bet amongst each other, but also can accept rakes and percentages from bet winnings. But yeah, there's definitely lots of stuff to do here.
Yeah, well, until you get to that point, then what does the betting look like? Are you betting points, or are you betting like real US dollars?
So right now it's strictly Dare points that you can accumulate by registering on the platform. So right now, if you register on the demo, we are keeping all of these accounts and giving them 500 Dare points to start with. And you can use those points to bet on an upcoming game, right? That we will be deciding if it's F1 or maybe UFC or maybe a simple Beyblade tournament in a city near you, stuff like that. And you can just start transferring that amount whenever you win a bet, and also by referral, and also just by being an active member of the community. Like Dare points will be also our vehicle to empower and build engagement without actually having to spend Dare tokens.
Very cool. All right, dropping the link to the website in the chat here for you guys. Looks like you can pre-register. I did that this morning. I definitely want to be in here early and just getting my toes wet in this ecosystem. It is really cool. And then a quick peek at the virtual site for when this is actually live. It'll complete tomorrow, which actually tomorrow's gonna be a lot of fun. I think TGE will actually happen when I do my morning stream, and I always like to get in there and like watch the token go live and see how people are trading it. And usually we do a little trading too. So hang on, okay. So this is open in an hour. Start committing those points. There's nothing on the board. I'm interested. This is the one. This is the one. So I'm going to be participating, get some points in here, staying active in the virtuals ecosystem. But I just like what you're building. I like it a lot. So I'm going to be gladly participating in this one here. There was another thing I'd pulled up that I had to ask about here too, because, okay, so the betting stuff is awesome, and the content stuff that is going to be birthed from this is awesome. That tweet's wild too, by the way. You being the Daredevil dude, how are you even standing these days with like that fucking list of injuries? Is wild.
Yeah, dude, any other professional athlete, bro, they got a list. Everyone's got a list.
Everyone,
man.
yeah,
I'm sure they got
I believe
a list,
it.
bro.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I'm going to play this clip here. So let me reshare this a different way. But like, again, I think there's just like the alpha and insights and like things that this can tip you off to is like, it's super unique. And I think especially for people who are betting, and maybe this is more for like the projects that are built around on betting. Maybe it's less for us as users, but probably helpful for them to like discover what's happening in these markets and if they're being manipulated. And it sounds like Agent Daredevil can help expose some of that, if I even heard this right. So I'm going to play this real quick. And let me make sure I don't blast your guys' ears with echoes here. No, I think we should be good.
It's like a big pink elephant in the room. Now, you guys get all this data, and you can see, I would imagine, who's fixing or how these things would work. I'm sure in some way. Can you kind of expound on like how sports betting, it's exploding, but how does Sports Radar navigate through that type of stuff with fixing and all
Yes,
those things?
so fixing's been around since the Roman times.
Yes.
And the
Forever.
Greek times, wrestling, etc. And then, of course, the Black Sox scandal in baseball in
1900s.
1900s,
Yep,
exactly. 1920, 1980. So it's always there. And now with the explosion of betting and, of course, lower tier content, it's going to happen. What's important is it's monitored, tackled, and the problem is talked about openly, like we're doing here.
So I guess seeing that, is that something that Agent Daredevil is going to help do? Is it going to be that dialed in and it's going to see some funny market moves in different betting markets? Is it going there at some point?
So I can say this. So 2 weeks ago at Sigma AIBC, I got to chop it up with this gentleman that you see here. He's a VP here at APAC for Sport Radar. And for people who don't know Sport Radar, it's a sports and analytical company. They are the ones who extract every single amount of data that you can imagine when we're talking about sports. And then they package it in a way for the NBA to have, or the NHL, or betting platforms, right? So their job is just to get all the data, and then they kind of push it out to these big companies, and they utilize it any way they want to. So I had some cool conversations with them, and he was telling me the stuff that they have behind the scenes and how they can really, they have the ability to really hone in on, wow, that sports league, they are fixing games. And these guys, they're doing stuff like this and that and whatnot. Like they can already see stuff like that. And, when we had a meeting with him and we were explaining what we're building, what we have, he was so invested, and he was so like, he couldn't believe like this is the type of stuff we're doing in our industry, in our space. So much to the fact that we're going to be having a talk with the tech team over at Sport Radar about just how they can not only help us in our sense, because they really love what we're doing and what we're trying to provide for the users, let alone at the betting companies at the same time, but also like helping them with utilizing what we're doing and how it can be put on their platform in a way that could help them as well at the same time. Yep. So it's very fun stuff. I can just leave it there as that.
I get where that's going though. I do, like, again, things that we talk about in the chat. We do this every day, and we just like to like, we let our minds wander where this is going. I'm like, guys, you get it.
I mean,
right?
Guys, if you don't mind, I would want to add on that as well. Going back to Agent Daredevil predicting the game 7 or who's going to win the finals, right? So I was talking about confidence levels of Daredevil versus a regular LLM. So if you're talking about fixing and like all the funky stuff that that happens behind the scenes, what Daredevil actually can do, especially imagine if or when when he already has access not only to Sport Radar but to all the other data providers in the world. Throw in a bit of Twitter shade in there, Reddit, yaps and stuff. It will affect the confidence levels of Daredevil's feedback, right? So, no, he won't necessarily be solving the problem, but he will be guiding the users on decision.
He'll know the problem, and he'll help you make maybe a better play, bet, whatever.
Yeah, maybe that 72% goes down 50 when he smells something funny, right?
I see. Yeah, really, really, really cool. Okay, yeah. Again, I see this stuff everywhere. I see the partnership opportunities everywhere. Like, again, I tell these guys, I'm like, guys, it's just a matter of like probably months. I don't think we're talking years. I'm like literally months till we start seeing like DraftKings wanting to partner with projects like this, and like Barstool Sports wanting this stuff. Like, again, everything's going agentic. This is the stuff that's at the cutting edge of that. And those guys are going to need to play. If they're not doing it on their own already, they're going to need to play catch up. They might do that, or they might do those partnerships, but I think we're going to see some huge ones coming soon. Huge ones.
For sure. We were shocked, to be honest. when, like I said, I always go back to this. We go to the soft launch, and then we got all this interest, and of course we're doing our due diligence, and we're looking at all these websites, these betting platforms. None of them have any of this type of AI bot, if you will. They don't even have these simple functions like that on there, and maybe it's a lack of understanding, thinking maybe there's a little bit of intimidation in their heads, thinking that, oh, the AI bot's going to be so good, we're just going to lose money. It's going to get everything right. Or the flip side. Oh, what if it gets everything wrong? Now, who's liable? Like, we're the betting platform, and what if it just sways people the wrong way one too many times? So we don't want to be at fault for something like that. And, we've had this discussion so many times with these platforms where we break it down to them like, it's not what you think. I can see how your heads are kind of going down into the cloud or up into the clouds. But it's just a wall of information that they don't understand. And once they do understand it, they're like, oh, okay, that's what it does. That's how it could help us. Oh, well, yeah, okay, fuck yeah. Well, let's talk then. That makes sense. And so, like I said in the very beginning of the show, we're at the spearhead of this information in tech, and we're so in front sometimes. Maybe we're in an echo chamber, and maybe we sometimes have to take a step back and just understand, like, wow, hey, the masses, they aren't on our level of perspective, and it's just a lack of knowledge, right? So until we get to that point, again, it's always this like dance you got to do and really break it down and let them know how they can apply it and utilize it for them, like right now instead of later. Right?
Well, exactly why guys like you are so important with the connections and with the history and having worked outside of crypto, doing what you did, so you have those contacts with those people who this might benefit more than most, right? Again, it's for somebody like me who wants to dabble in sports betting, but these guys where it's the future of what they're doing, you're the right guy to break it down for them and to onboard them and teach them and, do it safely, smartly, all that stuff. So I see it. And then those walls being broken down like now actively. So really, really, really cool. I dig this a lot, man, a lot. Milestones, and we can maybe end here. If you guys have questions in the chat, anything that we didn't hit on and you want to get in, and same with you, Jared, and John, if you have anything that we didn't touch on, you want to make sure people know, please let me know. But what are some milestones coming up? You've got the launch, again, 53 minutes off. TGE is going to be tomorrow. What's the very next thing that's coming, within, whatever, days, weeks, whatever? And then where do you see you guys out, a year from now?
I could start off with a 0 to 1,000. So day 1 until day 30, our first line of business is to get the leaderboards working, so that the community already has something to play with, and at the same time, earn points for. Following that will be a few esports tournaments, both IRL and online, where the power of the D app itself, can be shown. Our goal here is to go to the trenches and go door to door and look at the people who will be using it, what their reactions are, what they have to say. Get that initial 0 to 100, and 0 to 1,000, 100 to 1,000, then 1,000 to 10,000, taking it step by step. But definitely more games will be coming up soon. He will be knowing not just the NBA and the NBA draft, but also Web3 games will be in the next 3-month timeline.
Cool.
Right. So aside from sports, we want to get this in the hands of Web3 gamers themselves. There's a lot of exciting stuff that we can't really talk about yet, but just for the community to have something to actually grasp and see where this is going, and we're not just talking vaporware here. We will be providing that for them for sure.
Very
and 1 to 2 years, Jared, take it away.
Oh, no, well, shit, man. I'm more the visionary, big in the clouds thinker where, bro, I'm going to play a lot of fucking video games. This is going to be fun. We're going to make a shit ton of content. We're going to be in all these micro communities, like seeing everyone enjoy and play like what we built. I'm ready to do shit like that. Go to events, keynotes. Yeah, we're going to have to talk and do meetings and interviews and shit like that. I know that's part of it, and I understand that's very important. But look, the stuff that we're building, like, I'm here to have fun, man. I'm ready to have fun, and this shit is really fun to do. So it doesn't really gonna feel so much like work as much as it should be to a sense. But I know that, if you love what you're doing, work just by a byproduct just so happens to, follow at the coattails of something like that if you're just that passionate about it, right? So I'm ready to just fucking game out and just jam out with this type of stuff. But 1 to 3 years down the line, oh man, shoot, like obviously having, Agent Daredevil like a cultural phenomenon where I'm going to the clouds again with this, where it's just this easy thing that you can have within your communities to bet, with your boys while you're jamming on the sticks, or you're at a sporting event watching and you can lay down some quick bets while the game is going in real time. I think that since I'm such a hardcore gamer, just having this in GTA or Minecraft or in Roblox or the sandbox, if we're talking like Web3 games or MSU, that would be the dream. And that would be so sick to have, just to be that culturally fitting, little space that it can carve out to be there, just accessible, and everyone knows what it's about. And that's where I see it, bro.
And if a project wants to get in and have a their own leaderboard, reach out to you guys. You guys can be pretty open to, building out these custom leaderboards for whoever wants to do it.
Yeah, for sure. And it doesn't just stop there, right? If they're looking at having their own Agent Daredevil in their game, doing the same things with their own brand, or maybe joining the animated or short series that we have with Yellow Panther. So that's one of the advantage of us being a studio first, and also a tech company at the same time, right? So it's also the strategy, it's also the branding, it's also the playbook that will eventually, right, grow the ecosystem as a general, in general, and not just Daredevil itself.
Really cool. All right, I promise this is the last question, and it's an easy one, I
good,
think. Are the bets, the point bets, are those on chain?
No. So right now, we are currently keeping the database server-sided, but eventually, right, there's no reason for us not to put that on chain, especially if there's a need for it again. I do see definitely some sort of point system that isn't the Dare token that will go on chain, just to create that next layer of value that's not held in your phone. But for now, the Dare points works, and yeah, we'll definitely keep you guys updated.
That's that. Yeah, that's awesome. And by the way, so on that point, dude, open door. Anytime you guys have updates and you want to share it with the community, always open door. Come on the show anytime, deliver those updates. Just keep us posted with what you guys got cooking here. I love it. Again, live in less than an hour. I got some points heading towards this. I can't wait. And shit, we'll probably find some like leaderboards that we as a community want to get in and start betting against each other. We'll probably make a big old event of this. So this is really cool. Let me throw up socials on the screen. I want to make sure you guys are following everybody involved here. Let's go. There we go. There's Jared right there. J Daredevil 12 or 2. J Daredevil 2. Yeah. Give him a follow on X. The agent itself, it's agent_Daredevil. Definitely follow that guy. Uprontera. Follow as well. Is this more like the top level kind of the group company? Correct. Okay. And then Sedano here, Lord Sedano, give him a follow on X too. Guys, this is freaking awesome. Again, it was great to connect and chat with you about especially something as awesome as this. And I'll say it one more time, product market fit. This is it. I don't see it enough on virtuals and in AI. It is a rare thing, and it happens to be right here. So really, really dig this a lot, guys. Thank you very much for your time and for sharing it, man. Awesome stuff.
Yeah. Thanks for spreading the good vibes, bro. Thank you for having us, bro. It was a pleasure reconnecting with you, man.
We should definitely jam like this more often. As again, like there's not many AI Web3 gaming podcasts out there. We are going to be having a lineup of Web3 gaming studios and founders sitting down talking about AI and how AI agents and NPCs apply to their games, what role Daredevil plays in that, and would love to have you join us as well.
Would love it.
The brains of everyone else in the space.
Dude, would love it. We're cooking up some ideas too, or some other kinds of podcasts that are more like maybe they're a little serious, but it's talking about like AI's changing everything. In the next 5 years, this world's gonna be really fucking weird, and it's talking about that kind of stuff. And are we going UV or UHI, and like what is how this is gonna change so much? those are kind of conversations we have, like leaders in AI now that are here in crypto, and those conversations we need to have and have them publicly for people. So the same thing, I need you guys there for those too. So that would be great.
Yeah, let's get in there. Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, definitely.
sure.
And then Jared has his Let It Fly podcast, which is awesome. Very sports or oriented related. It's fucking awesome. I do watch it. It's great. Let It Fly podcast on YouTube. And then you guys know you can follow us at CryptoSlam over on YouTube. And our AI agent, it's not Hudah, that's me, but our agent is the Swarm_AI. Big stuff coming next week, of course, ACP Swarm, all that good stuff. Can't wait. Guys, thank you one last time, and everybody watching. I hope your day's fucking amazing. I hope it is. We'll see you on the other side here, Monday, 9 a.m. Eastern time. Guys, thank you again. We'll see you.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
Peace.
Good night.
Peace.